We'd like to welcome each and every individual to leverage the magical arts of positive motivation and manipulation. Hi, my name is Mark Portsma, President of Synergy Solutions, along with Tom Kuntz and Peter Miles. And wow, lesson one. If you've been part of the backstage passes, you're probably like, when is lesson one going to be here? If you're just joining us for the first time, I might encourage you to go and register, get the backstage passes. To be able to do that, because it really sets the foundation. If it seems like we're going over a lot of information in a short period of time today, the reason it seems that way is, well, because we are. And so connect with your art mentor and your two art buddies for an art pod, 7 people that are all working together to get the most out of leverage. And so lesson one, questions and listening. So master the art of asking the right questions in the right way at the right time with the right people, and build a system to do this consistently for every single role, person in the company and organization. So the question we have for today is, have we mastered the art of asking the right question in the right way at the right time, and do we have this in a system? And if you say, oh yeah, I've got this down, then we need to learn to listen at a deeper level. And so here's the overall model for leverage, and so asking questions and being able to go through it. When we ask the right questions, this helps to reveal to whoever we're talking to our intentions and our capabilities. So when you think about selling, when you think about convincing anyone to do anything, whether it's a parent to a child to a parent, us to our peers, our customers, our employees, our boss, anybody, people are looking at 2 things. It's pretty simple. It's our intentions. What are our intentions? Are our intentions to sell something, or is our intention to, do them good, bring them value? And then the second is, once somebody knows our intentions or feel they know our intention, they're looking at capabilities. Tom, any thoughts on these 2 before we drill a little bit deeper?
No, I mean, to me, the asking the right question is absolutely the key to just about anything. Too often we tend to ask frivolous questions when, especially in sales, you've got to zero in, and if you know your product well, you build your questions around your product so that, or at least what you'd think your potential clients would want to have out of your product, and you ask those questions so you bring them to where you want them.
Nice. Peter, thoughts, insights that you have?
Same. I mean, the right questions are key. Identifying somebody's wants, needs, values, goals, and then looking for synergies or common goals to achieve.
And Peter, the first time we had talked, there was an intrigue that you had on, I don't know if it's the questions, the style, the approach. What was it that really drew you in very, very quickly to our conversation and what we were doing?
Systematizing that process. So, throughout my life, career, I recognize that ability to be curious, and in that sense, ask the questions: what do I need to know? How do I get where we want to go, where I want to go, is the part of the foundation of forming a critical path, whether it's your purpose, a goal, a profit, a turnaround, or whatsoever. So, in that sense, I learned it informally. What attracted me into this in the first place was how to be more efficient and effective at that.
And so, being a past board member of BMW, past president of Rolls-Royce, you've traveled all over the world. You've met some really smart people. You've been exposed to some spectacular systems. Would it be fair to say, Peter, you might not be the easiest person to impress, or not?
Well, on the one hand, I'd say that's absolutely true because you've seen a lot of stuff. Or a lot of different ways of trying to make the complex simple, but it's still, no matter what I've seen, it's that ability in bigger organizations that, it's easy one-on-one to a certain extent, but it's having a system, a process to influence more than one at a time. And that's the struggle, I think, for any community organization is the ability to be able to do that.
Right.
It's create leverage from the fundamentals.
So as we dig into the Q&A on today's lesson and start to drill into it, really, like, leverage is so simple. Like, a child knows how to do it. A baby knows how to do it. They know how to leverage their screams to get what they want. So leverage is like the simplest thing in the world, but it's not. And that, I think, in putting this together, this course together, and really presenting it in a way that it is simple, but it's also complex, and bring that to each one of us together. I'm learning so much from this, and hope you do as well. We're going to take a short 5-second pause and then dive into the real meat of today's. You're going to want to participate in this at a really deep level. Here we go. Okay, we're back again for the Q&A and really drilling into it. So when we look at asking questions, big picture, it's review all levels of questions. Do we have all the information, the questions, the data, prioritizing the importance of the data? That's really important to be able to go through and look at all of these things. Again, we're going to go quickly here. Peter really challenged to come up with a model for a submodel. Like, he's a masochist for details. It's like, really? Like, my gracious, I love that, but I also hate it. But it's really exciting. So here we have, ask questions and our intentions and our capabilities. So by asking the questions, there's an entire science behind psychologically winning people over. And so the rule is, if somebody says that's a great question 3 times, they'll buy anything from you. I've had people come up in networking opportunities. I had one guy, and it was probably within 3 minutes of me asking him questions. He said, "Mark, I have no idea what you do, no idea, what you sell. I have no idea, but whatever you have, I want to buy it." Sight unseen. It's asking the questions. It reveals our intention, but it also reveals our capability. So when somebody says, "That's a great question," it's a reflex. And we're right outside their comfort, like they're thinking, wait a minute, like, this person's smarter than me. That's why people say that's a really great question. And so after doing this decades and decades, we've really perfected this and breaking it down into, going into asking the questions and considering psychologically where people are at. Asking questions which consider learning modalities, asking questions which consider personalities. So when we look at this, we say, okay, that's the first kind of piece of it, the 4 levels of questions, the details, that's the analytic. When we go into the amiable personality, it's showing that we care, that shows intention, and then connecting with the individual. So people are very interested in themselves. So listen to the words and the full psychology. Listen to based on learning modalities. Listen based on personalities and being able to go through that in there. The third aspect is the expressive. So we've got the analytic. We've got the amiable. Now we're getting the expressive, and so to grab them, to draw them in, we need to have excitement, energy, drama, something that's like, whoa, you're an exciting person, you're an interesting person, so it's fun and exciting and being able to go through it. So do we have level 1, 2, and 3 and 4 questions really rock solid? Do we know how to listen at a really deep level and being able to go through it? So we've got kind of the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant is being able to ask questions which appeal to the driver personality, the bottom line, the big picture. When we do that, we draw everybody in. And there's an absolute science to being able to do that. I know we're going over a lot. We'll be asking questions about it. And so the action card is the most effective global way to ask questions in less than 7 minutes. So there are 7 questions that you ask, and there's a science behind all of this. So when you go to your workbook, you'll be able to see how this is better mapped out. And the overall purpose of level 1 questions is to get them interested in you. Think back to when, or maybe you're now, dating. And when you have your first date, what's the objective? It's to get them interested in having a date with you. A second date. How do you do that? Talk about them, don't talk about you. So showing that you're interested in them. Level 2 questions, qualify them. So going back to dating again, do they qualify? Do you want to date them? If you reverse that, that's not going to work out well. If you talk about yourself and what you're looking for, so get them interested in you, and then determine if you're interested in them. Level 3 questions, position things for leverage. Level 4 is focusing in on the analytic and amiable, and it's building trust. Tom and Peter, I know we're going over a lot here. Questions, thoughts, insights you guys have?
I don't have any at this point.
Peter?
No, this is the meat of it to me.
So here we go into the action card. So there are custom action cards that are made through Life Masteries Institute and Legacy Partners. This is a generic one that's put together just for any business owner can do it. So any business owner could use, this is B2B. So the first question is, who would be your ideal lead and why? My biggest challenge in any area of business or life would be, if someone could help me in any area of my life, what would you love help on? Which of these 4 shapes would you tend to like the most, first, second, third, and fourth? Which of these 4 things would cause you most frustration in any area of your life, 1, 2, 3, and 4? If you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change? And 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how coachable do you believe you are? So these 7 questions are designed, they're put together in a very specific methodical order. So what it does is it goes from easy questions showing that they're interested. So for example, when you ask a business person who would be your ideal lead and why, what you're doing is showing that you're interested in them, and at a subconscious level, they think you can refer business to them as well. So you're showing them, if you connect with me, if you ask for the second date, I can bring you a lot of value. So that is a great question to lead for B2B. Now, these are questions for my 7 kids that I've used when they're dating someone. They actually come to me and say, Dad, can you ask so-and-so, can you ask them the cool questions? So these are cool questions. They create interest and intrigue. My biggest challenge in any area of life would be, business or life, personal and professional, that's revealing pain. So people are more psychologically, people are more motivated to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So that biggest challenge probably has been there for a long time. So again, you're showing interest in them, but you have to ask these questions just like they're on the card. Don't say, what would you say the biggest, area of pain you're having in your life? It's too harsh. It's too deep. You ask them, so with, everything you've got going, what would you say the biggest challenges you're facing in life? The third is if someone, anyone, could help you in any area of your life, what would you love help on? That's revealing pleasure. Number 4 is, of these 4 shapes, which would you tend to like the most? A cube, a pyramid, a wavy line, or a ball? 1, 2, 3, and 4. That creates tremendous curiosity. And people are afraid of asking that question. So they're like, well, Mark, you don't understand. Like, you don't understand, Mark. Like, I can't ask that question. You're right. You can't. But it's not because you can't. It's because you don't think you can. So if you don't have confidence in going in. So when we're asking the questions, we're like a doctor. And so if you go into a doctor and the doctor says to you, hey, Mark, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable or anything, but would you mind taking off all your clothes and putting this on? Again, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I don't want you to feel awkward. I don't want you to feel like I'm, stalking you or anything like that. If a doctor did that to you, what would you do? You would
feel all those things.
You'd run away, right? You'd be like, ah! And so a lot of times people, what they do is they don't have confidence in the question. It's like a chicken and an egg situation. Do you ask the questions and gain confidence? Yes. Or do you gain confidence and ask the questions? Yes. And so I get these questions, my questions, when I ask a question, 99.99% of the time I'm going to get an answer. And the reason is because I ask it with authority and confidence. Now, it's also tone. I've also already mapped out their personality. So it's technique as well, but it's kind of combining all of those. Before we open it up, Tom, Peter, any questions that you guys have or thoughts that you have on this before we open it up to the group?
I don't have any questions.
All right. Great. Now we've lost the recording, or we've lost the controls again, so I can't open it up to everybody. Maybe Elise, if you can try to go in and see if you can get it open for everyone. All right. So the Life GPS mobile app does a lot of this for us. You can just say, hey, here's a cool mobile app, and they can go in and do it. So if we go through, there's an entire science in, looking at this. There's a great course in box 4, Asking Key Questions. It's dollars in the bank, and so I'd encourage you to go through that course because that course really drills into how to ask questions. This one's focused in, we have 1 lesson on it. That one has a full 7 lessons on asking questions. So obviously this is focused in on, presenting solutions and being able to go through it. Let's go ahead and look at the leverage workbook. And so what we did is we put together, Peter, based on your suggestion, the workbook to be able to help people go through the course. And so I want to have both yours and Tom's feedback. So we go through, and maybe I can open it up here. Oh, thank you, Elise. Okay. All right. So, Ski, are you on with us? Elise, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So I think you're all unmuted. So any of you can jump in at any time. So we have the leverage workbook. Print out the first 10 pages belongs to what you want to accomplish, all of those type of things. There's the welcome letter, all of that. And today's on lesson 1 is going to be, questions. So what's the goal of the course? It's going through that. And then it goes through what we covered, goes through all of that. And then it breaks it down into, on the action card, and all you have to do is say, hey, I'm going through a course, and then, I'm going through a course, and I need to go ahead and get 2 of these filled out this week. Would you mind, filling this out for me? Once you get these 7 questions answered, you gain leverage to help that individual solve problems that they may have never been able, they may have had this problem for 10 to 20 years in being able to go through it. Questions or thoughts from anyone?
Yeah, Mark, it's Steve. Is there any strategic thinking that leads for this at all? In other words, who am I particularly targeting, and what do I know about them? Things like that would be prior to this question.
So when you look back at the first 10 pages, Ski, of the workbook, what do you want to accomplish from leverage? So that will give you an idea of who to get to fill this out.
Right. I guess I was referring a little bit more to, like, if you've already thought about somebody who you're going to be trying to explore leverage with. Is there any investigation? My thought was, like maybe going to LinkedIn and check them out before I would even start the question. Is there any advantage to that?
Yeah, so you look at what you want to accomplish for leverage. So what do you want to accomplish for leverage, Ski?
Well, right now I want to get that book done. I want to make my exit from Silver Hill a little bit more expeditious.
Okay. So then you look at what people are involved to be able to help empower you to do those things. And then whoever the people are that will help you accomplish what you want to accomplish, you get them to fill out this card. Does that make sense, Ski?
Yeah.
Tom, who would you have fill this card out?
Well, I would basically, anybody that I'm going to have ongoing communication with, be it either as an employee, employer, a customer, salesperson, family members, especially if you have family members that you're maybe, you're not just seeing eye to eye. I mean, to me, I could probably give you a shorter list of who not to. I mean, it's the insights you get by understanding that other person as well as yourself. First of all, you should answer these questions, and then you know who you are and how you operate and how you think, and now you start to relate to everybody else you come in contact with. So my answer is just about anybody you come in contact with.
So does anybody see what I see on this? Is anybody curious? Did any of
you see?
Yeah, I am.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what you see.
like, did any of you think like Tom thought?
Yeah.
Cool. Will everybody think like Tom thought?
Eventually, I think so. It's Murray Greenberg.
Cool. So,
where do I get the workbook? Because I haven't got the workbook yet.
yeah, connect with your mentor, or Elise will get that out to you.
Okay, because I would like to look at that
Absolutely.
in conjunction with
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. So, why did I call on Tom versus anybody else?
Because he's doing this already?
Okay. Who else was saying it?
No, I said because you knew what his answer would be.
I knew what his answer would be. I mean, I didn't, but I did. So Tom, he's like, he's like one of the best adult students, maybe the best adult student I've ever met in my life. I mean, he's like a kid. Like he somehow, so it's like, how does he think like he thinks? Like, how does he see? Like, you can see his gears moving. Like, he and I didn't talk about this rehearse. We just jump on the call. We just jump on together. And all of a sudden, he's like, well, I'd do this, and well, I'd do this, and well, I'd do this and this, and okay, I'd do this and this. Like, his mind is so sharp. Like he's like a small child where he has no fears. Well, what if they think poorly of me? Like, what if, like, he doesn't have the fears that most adults have? I love what Murray said. Eventually, everybody will come to think like Tom. But how do we get that done sooner, faster? How do we reduce the iterations?
By going out and trying to do it.
Right. like you just do it, and it either works or doesn't. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to get shot. What's the worst thing they can say? So you know, Teresa, when in her EVA certification, Tom, Peter, you guys need to take off.
I do on this occasion.
Okay, no worries. Any closing
I've
comments?
got a few more minutes.
Okay, Peter, any closing comments before you take off?
No, I think exactly. You've got to jump in at some point. It's as they say in manufacturing, you've got to shoot the engineer and build the car.
I love that, by the way. I'm going to steal that, Peter. The engineer may change, but I'm going to steal it.
That's nice.
Perfectly imperfect.
Nice. Nice. That's funny. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. Tom, anything else you have before you take off?
No, I've got a few minutes. I'll hang on.
Cool. And so this is the thing where it's just you take action on it and you go through and you do it. But most people, even most of us that are on it, probably won't come back next week with 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 of these, whatever you want. And so each week you all ought to be going through and doing, each of you ought to, so if you go to leverage.dna4success.com. So leverage.dna4success.com. Go to members only. So leverage.dna4success.com. Every week you ought to do it. As a matter of fact, leverage your time here. And do it right here. Like, do it right during the thing. So go in here and put a comment. Ask a question. Tell a story. Something that worked. Something that didn't work. Like, whatever you want to do in being able to go through and do this. So there's a number of these already here. There's something from Success for Veterans, Dimensional Living. Ski went ahead and posted a great post. Mark went ahead and commented on Ski's post. Wouldn't it be more cool, like, if there were a whole bunch of comments on Ski's post? Like, if you guys went in, like, this is where we ought to be having the conversation. Short, tight, concise. But this is where we ought to be having the conversation. And then you don't have to sell anybody on going on leverage. You just go ahead and point them to this, this page here. And when they start to see what people are learning and going through, see, a lot of times we do things that are successful, but we don't lock it into our daily disciplines. So what if you said, I'm going to go ahead and get, 2 of these action cards filled out. Okay, cool. This week. Or 5 or 10 or whatever you want it to be. And then when you bring those back, if you go ahead and there's Life Masteries Institute and Legacy Partners is working on a system now that'll take the action card and you can just go in, or they can go in and fill it out, and it will touch them for 7 times in a row. One email a day for 7 days, and it's going to give them insight on their action card. It's amazing technology. It's crazy. And then after the set 1 email a day for 7 days, then it'll go ahead and do that one email a week, potentially forever. That idea for Legacy Partners and Life Masteries Institute to do it came from the FedEx principle. Like, I'm talking to Life Masteries and Legacy Partners, and I'm like, it would be so cool to do this. Because I know that none of us have the time and the resources, the money, the resources to do it. But Life Masteries has all of the pieces together, and so they can do it. And they're a nonprofit organization, so they're not there to sell anything. They're there to change people's lives forever. And so that and the life-gps.org, go to that website.
Life, say that again, please.
life-gps.org.
Okay.
And you can do it on your mobile app. There's a way to go ahead and create an icon so you can put it on your mobile app. You can do it on the computer, whatever. You can get your own channel. If you get your own channel, you control the videos. So it's a free app. And so you can go there, and if you just go to life-gps.org, that's the main channel through Life Masteries Institute. And so there's going to be a lot of cool stuff there. But if you want your own channel, or if your company or a nonprofit organization or any group of people want their own channel, there's a slight investment for that. It's not much. Anybody can have one. And so you can get your own channel, and then you control the videos. So what it's like is and to create a topic on anything, it only requires like 12 videos. It's really simple. 4 the geo, 4 for the pain, and 4 for the combined. And when you get those 12 short videos, it covers 65,536 possible combinations. And it'll help people in anything. Help them make more money, help them work less hours. It will help them to overcome depression. It'll help them overcome emotional, physical, sexual abuse. It'll help them with their addictions. It'll help PTSD. It'll help everyone. It's a direct feed into their brain, how they think. Oh my gracious, I went over. Let me go ahead and do a 5-second pause here, and then we'll go into the bonus. Here we go. Sorry. All right, we're in the bonus session. Sorry about that, Elise. I just got so excited about everything. I'm like, So we're in the bonus session here. And so the mind is the most, Tom introduced me to Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So the most powerful OPEDs in the world are in our head, in our brain. And so I believe that the mobile app is going to give people leverage, and businesses and companies, not only to make more money, not only to be more profitable, because it'll help them with every one of their employees. And when the owner of the company goes ahead and gets their own channel, they control everything. Like, it's not Google controlling it or Microsoft controlling it. When they get their own channel, they control their entire brand, everything that they have. based on people's personalities. In addition to that, they can also go ahead if they want to. So if they have employees that are struggling with, addiction or depression or whatever, let's say that a company probably might not have a library of those. Well, they can tap into Life Mastery's library. So Life Masteries is raising funds to be able to address every type of mental and emotional illness out there, to help people to learn naturally through their brain how to heal themselves, not to help themselves. So the medication, even the counseling, all of that often is designed to help people, not to heal them. Why? Well, helping people, you make a lot more money. I mean, just sorry to say. But healing is giving people an opportunity to where they think differently. And when they do that, and they can do that in the comfort of their own home. So if you want to find out more about the channels, you can go to DNAforpeople.com. So DNAforpeople.com. And that'll give you the features of the different, of what Life GPS is. You can do pay it forward. And there's three things you can have generous giving. So some people are just giving to this because they want to help people. They want to get people to heal. Some people, you have a personal channel, and then there's business channels that you have as well. And then there's features that go through it. There's case studies. What are you passionate about? So anything that you're passionate about, you can go ahead and create a group with your own channel for that passion. And so there's all different types of passion. So here's my daughter and son-in-law, and so they had a miscarriage on their first one, so they're healing from that. And so they went ahead and are using the mobile app to reach out to other couples that have faced that and going through that. There are people that are passionate about cars and veterans and mentors and pastors and owners and executive and CPA firms and IT. So there's a whole bunch of things that, people are passionate about. In the Pay It Forward, there's things for the, just giving, just impacting the world, and then channel subscriptions, and then it goes through. And so the generous gifts can go to help veterans. In the business side, the mobile app will help people in leadership. So I know I've been in situations where I've had to tell people things that they don't want to hear, and it doesn't go good for them or for me. But what if a mobile app did it? Like, why am I going to waste my energy telling somebody they're sloppy, lazy, undisciplined, and pathetic? If I can get a mobile app to go ahead and tell them that, what are they going to do? Get angry at the mobile app? I mean, there's people that are focused in on healing from addictions and abuse. The mobile app can help in recruiting, training, and mentoring. So when you get somebody and onboard them based on their personality, you're going to onboard that person in a totally different way. Murray's a CPA. So all of his business clients could go ahead and get their own channels. He could go ahead and impact every single person, every one of his clients, and all of their clients. So CPAs, they can, it's unbelievable. Some are focused on teen and adult suicide prevention. In the marketing, how cool would it be? It's 17 seconds. So the cluster principle is leveraging natural laws. So in the cluster principle, it's being able to go through and so people, first-time home buyers tend to know other first-time home buyers. So they're going to refer to other people. And again, if you have your own channel, you control what video comes in. So there can be a video based on personalities and buying your first home. With really affluent families in David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. So if you're going after really affluent families, one of their biggest challenges is going to be, with their children. There's a higher rate of alcoholism, drug abuse, all kinds of things, drug addictions, all of that kind of stuff in affluent families. Well, what if there was a mobile app that went ahead that they could give it to their son or daughter or their grandson or granddaughter, and it would help them in, preventing teen suicide? It'll help, there's people that are focused in on helping single moms and kids at risk. The mobile app will help people in businesses and pre-sales. There's others that are focused in on childhood bullying, stress, and pressure, and, helping individuals. It'll help people in sales. Community mentors and spiritual leaders, and helping people in servicing. So Ken Bucci, he's a CPA. He's a CPA out of Boston area. So he's starting to get geared up to go ahead and get all of his clients to where they can plug into it, and he can help them in all areas of their life, not just in CPA, not just in accounting, not just in tax, but he can bring tremendous value and benefit. That's one of the things he's passionate about. But that's also good for his business, too, because as he's helping them in all these areas, they're going to refer more business to him. And then in Client for Life, creating Client for Life, stopping child trafficking, and then over 60 in Loving Life, and then how do you use that to create profitable partnerships? Tom, any questions, thoughts, insights you have?
No, it's amazing when you start looking at the possibilities, what you already have, plus what could be.
Right.
Pretty amazing.
Right. There's 3 women that are right around 50 years old that I'm working with right now who are molested, sexually molested by their dad or stepdads. And the Paul Weiner, he's doing some work with Northwestern Medical, and he said that when there's emotional trauma, that the brain looks at that trauma the same exact way as if you were, physically hit. So being in a car accident, if your brain sustains a head-on collision, it's going to damage it. The same thing can happen with girls that, are trafficked or molested. And so I believe that the mobile app will help them to heal. It'll connect synapses in their brains to where what's been taken away from them, they will go ahead and come back. They will heal from those things. And so addiction's the same way. Each of the 4 personalities are addicted for very different reasons. So I'm a driver analytic. I knew at a very young age I had a very addictive personality. So I love a challenge and I love a thrill and I love I love intense things. So I knew at a young age, as a teenage boy, I said, Mark, you have addictive personality. You can never touch alcohol. You can never go ahead and take any drugs, and you can't even drink coffee. So I'm 54 years old, and I've never had a cup of coffee because I realized at a young age that, hey, Mark, it'll destroy your life vision. So I had clarity at the age of 14 what I was put on this planet to do, and I said, Mark, you got to stay away from all of that stuff. Well, what if somebody doesn't have a life vision? The mobile app can help them figure that out. What if they can't see into the future? It can help them to see things. It can, like the Grandpa Chappelle principle. And so Tom's grandfather, his gift, like his legacy continues to live on through Tom. My Grandpa Boersma principle, who taught me the senselessness of defensiveness. I mean, it's like, hello, like you're not going to learn. All learning shuts down. And so my parents both passed away in the last year and a half, my mom 2.5 years. There's so many things that they have. There's so many things that they have that will be lost if I don't capture those things. When you look at the greatest generation and like so many of them are passing on, and it's like they have such a wealth of understanding, but it's not captured. The mobile app can capture that to go ahead and change the entire world. Like, it's crazy. Murray, any questions, thoughts you have?
Not really at this time. I'm just trying to take it all in because I wasn't able to go on the first few calls.
No worries.
Background calls.
No worries. Yeah, you can go ahead and go on to the members only site and get all caught up. Elise can help you get a members only access code, and you can go in and you can go back to the previous lessons and you can catch up on everything.
Okay, good.
Cool. Elise, anything?
Right now I'm a little behind.
Yeah, Elise, anything you got?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Rosanna, anything you got?
I am good.
Anyone else have anything else? So what Elise is going to be doing is Elise is going to be working on the ART, the Atomic Ripple Reaction Tree, being an ART mentor and being an ART buddy. Tom, I haven't put you in that tree. Would you like me to? It's totally up to you. Did we lose Tom? If you're talking, you're on mute, Tom. So, Elise helped the ART tree. Now that we have the workbook and everything and going through that, like, it's not going to take people a lot of time. Like, help them time block, 10 minutes a day, or help them time block a half an hour, or whatever that is. If you're listening to the rebroadcast of this, you have any questions, feel free to connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300. Or if you're calling in outside the U.S., you can call the U.S.-based number 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. God bless. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.